Now I would like to present you another game from the Simul in Montreal in 1964. This Simul is against 10 players that are nearly master level players with a clock. So I think all the players, and the time control was like 2 hours, I think. So Fischer won all the game. The thing is, there is this game that I want to present you against this D. Allen, and it's very interesting because D. Allen lost the score sheet, but he remembered the game, and he saw it in a different magazine or collection of games about Fischer, and it wasn't with his name, but it was with an N, you know, an unknown player. Well, what happens is the following, that Fischer presents that game with detailed annotation in this magazine. But Fischer was doing the Simul, so he wasn't writing the game. It means he had an amazing memory if he could do that, right? So you understand why Fischer was a legend, because if he could remember a Simul game and in Montreal he played more than 60, clearly he was another level. And also, why did he remember? Because to be able to remember means also that you are able to improve, right, your openings. So let's see this game, okay? Fischer obviously is white, right? And here there is the story that is interesting, and maybe I will read it at the end of the game. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. D. Allen says that in that time he didn't know the two knight very well as theory, so obviously we need to be understanding about this. Knight f6, knight g3 is 5, and d5. In the Fischer says that more usual is queen e7 in Simul, but obviously is not a good move. So after d5, e takes d5, knight d4, and here there is a comment by Fischer that says that if he'd played instead of knight d4, knight takes d5, he would have followed with d4, and white already practically has a won game. I guessed I must have won at very least 100 games or so with this line on my 4th chess tour, which took me across Canada and the United States. The move actually played is Ulvestad's Gambit, sharp but unsound. So as you can see, Fischer had also a great understanding of the openings, and that's kind of interesting. Okay, here there are a lot of discussion about the move, to whom it actually belonged, who played it first, and so on and so forth. I'm more interested in seeing the game, okay? So after knight d4 there is a c3, b5, bishop f1, knight takes d5, c takes d4. Wow. Queen takes g5, bishop takes b5 check, king d8, queen f3, notice this and this, And now there is a mistake by black, which is e4. I don't know, I think the guy says that he didn't know the two knights, but probably is not true, because as you can see, he played a very sharp line, very sharp. And generally these kind of very sharp lines, you play them when you know the opening and you are trying to trap the opponent. Okay, let's see what happens. Queen takes e4, bishop d6. The threat obviously would be rook e8 if there wasn't that, right? And here it seems Fischer made a mistake. You can pause and try to find the right move for white. I advise you to do so, because this is something that could happen in your games if you play e4, right? Okay, Fischer played castle, which is wrong. It seems the right move was h4, and white is doing very well. So why castle on this side is a problem? The problem is this, that now black is ready to kind of launch a mating attack on the king side. And here it says, not the ominous portent of 4 black pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, ready to explode in white's face. As an old chess friend once explained to me, 3 pieces are a mate, but 4 pieces. So why 4 pieces? Because you need to eliminate the defense in front of the king. So that's the very important thing. And here we also discover why Fischer was great, because in that an analysis that he published of this game, that he was in his memory, he said that rook e1 was the right move, but unfortunately in the simul he played d3. So that's kind of problem, right? Black continue with knight f4, which is a mistake. It seems that he could have won if he played this, bishop takes h2. And the reason is that yes, after there is knight f4. But let's see what happens, because this is kind of interesting. Knight f4, and he plays. So black is trying to get a draw, and so what does he do? He does the following. If white takes on b7, right, black plays knight h3 check. And after, when there is the king going here, he plays knight takes f2 check. And why he cannot take? Because otherwise this queen will take there on c1, right? And once he takes on c1, there is the problem that you block the thing, maybe, but is not enough. Yeah. So let's see what happens here. He played bishop takes f4. Wow. Queen takes b5, and now there is d5. And here there is another mistake by black. Black plays queen takes b2. So white continue with bishop takes d6, c takes d6, rook e1. Finally he wants to go here to give kind of checkmate, and he plays queen f6. Maybe it was better queen e5. I'll try to enter an endgame. Let's see what happens now. Bishop, knight c3. See, obviously you cannot really take that knight, because if you take, try to remember, check goes here, rook here, and so you have lost the queen, right? So after knight c3 there is rook c8, but then white plays queen b4, and let's see what happens. He played rook e8, queen a5, king d7, and now queen a4, and here black resign. Why black resign? Because this seems kind of lost, or if he's not lost in the sense that he tries to block it, is still worth. So this was the game, and again the interesting part, in my opinion, yes, are the games that we can read here, but most of all are the stories, because Donaldson is very famous as Fischer biographer, because he wrote a lot of books about Fischer, and I have also another one that is kind of very interesting, a huge tome. So I hope you will enjoy this book for what it is, a collection of stories from the different Simons that Fischer played in that year, in 1964. Thank you very much for watching. See you again.